audio. Okay. So let's get something done. Let's make this work. So we have our view models for interface creation, new here, right? And essentially, inside of our stored procedure code, this is sections that will write stored procedures, and we're going to write stored procedures in a little bit different of a way. Okay, so this is our test stored procedure, which is fine, and it was just selecting. But this one's supposed to be create stored procedure for a new record. And I don't know. I don't think that will make any sense. So, yeah, let's try that. Okay, so we have create stored procedure new record, which we'll use. That's fine. We'll leave a break in here for execute non-query, which is good. All right, so we have which database it's using. Okay. Create procedure as begin, set no count on, which is fine. And then 2 lines later, because we're just going to put a blank line in here. But essentially now we can put in a comment for declare variables. Okay. This is where we will actually declare stuff. And because we can, what we can also do is we can do an SB here, and we'll put in a region, and we'll call it declaration of variables for procedure. Okay, now that means, no, copy, paste, all right, put an SB here, and then we'll put a semicolon like that. All right, so we have declare variables. So how do we declare variables? Well, we're going to put our tabs in place. And after a tab, then it's just the word declare followed by the variable name, which in our case would be SQL append. Okay, as nvarchar max. Okay, which is fine. Yeah, I think that should make sense. And then we would need parameter definition. Declare parameter definition append. Okay, which is also that. Now, parameter definition is going to be a little weird because then we need to set the variables. So this is declaration of the variables, which is fine. Then we need another region for setting. Set variables values. Set variable values for procedure. You know what? I know this is kind of boring me talking to myself, so let's turn on audio because I can and it's fun. Let's find some no copyright music. No copyright music, background, no vocal. Okay. Yeah, go with that. fields. Okay. That's a tab, and there's a single quote. Whatever the variables are, and their data types. So this has to pull the list of fields from here. Yeah, that's fine, because then tab, and we have a closing parentheses. Actually, do here SB. Okay, this is where we would then insert all fields as variables. So we can say for each SQL table field in build, what's the thing called? Interface creation. Yep. Interface creation dot SQL with table fields. Right. SQL table field. Plop field in SQL table fields. Yeah. And that's where then we can take the first one doesn't get a comma, but the rest of them do. Put commas at the end. Take the last one off, I think. But regardless, it's going to be this and then backslash table. Or sorry, tab, SQL table field model to SQL table field model, which is this. And we have the field name, the parent table, field caption, field name for C# code, lower and upper, data type for C#, data type for SQL Server, default field type if it's read-only, if it's on the record page, it's on a filter to detail, all of that fun stuff. So then data type for C#, data type for SQL Server. And then what I think I'll do is I'll do private string nullable variable name for stored procedures. Click, yep. There we go. Okay. Perfect, so that's variable name for stored procedures. And essentially, we would probably want to save that too, because once we've entered it, so variable, let's go to our utility for SQLite setup, and some database drop tables, do that, create tables, create SQLite table type, error log, code writing, creation subtype, filter terms. There's just so many fields here. There are so many tables. Let's do table field SQL table. Here we go. Create SQLite table SQL field. So then we will basically take something like this, add a new field. Alright. And then we're going to paste in that new one, which is called a variable name for stored procedures. Alright. So we have SQLite Studio we can drop in. Or SQL table field. Go down here, add a field, make that text. Alright. There we go. Variable name for stored procedures. Save that. Confirm. Alright, check our data out. Alright, so we now have it in the table. We have it in the setup file. We don't have it in the actions. So we have to be able to store something there. So we have our select, we have our add, our select, our get. Alright, so our select SQL string, which is this one, from the SQL table field. I can't forget that. The SQL table field view has to be edited. Let's add that. There we go. Alright. So then we have SQL table field, variable name for stored procedures. Okay. So now we have to go and find the SQL table field. Okay. No, it's going to be in setup. Find the SQL table field. Okay, so this is the one that's getting created. And we have to put the new field into the definition here. Oops, one too many times. Okay, so we have variable name for stored procedures. Perfect. Save that. So inside of our actions, when we have our selection query here, select SQL string, has the field, nullable, C# code, all of that fun stuff. So we're just going to put this in the standard fields. There we go. Variable name for stored procedures. So now we'll obtain it. And that'll happen during the select statement. That'll happen, everywhere else. Still need update. So that means integer, convert it to a string. Okay, just like that. I can't forget, so that's checked, and that's download fields. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have a field for that, and we're showing SQL table fields inside of where we're making it. So we go to interface creation, and we go to our view. Field information, here we go. Okay, we have our data grid. Is nullable caption. Yeah. Procedure variable name. Very good. Alright, so this is binding field caption with definition. No. What is the thing? This is list SQL table fields, which is a binding failure. So we've got new record, list SQL table fields. Yep. Okay. Caption, procedure variable name. Variable name for store procedure right there. Save. Okay. So that should allow editing and allow updating that way. Yep. And I do believe that if we go to caption, this if loaded, field caption, and then I do believe that variable name is going to be the same thing, which is marked already if loaded. Perfect. So let's open that guy up and see what we got. Oh, build errors. Over here. Identify or expected. Variable name for stored procedures. Alright, so that essentially then would be SQL data type calling. So we have append field dot SQL data type for SQL Server. Append line. Okay. And I think they all have commas after them, but we're going to put an F9 there. And let's take build. Two-way binding requires path or XPath. Items presenter. What is this? Why don't you like it? End region expected. Probably because the region is breaking everything. So we have a region. We actually have an end region here. And then we need an end region down here. Okay. Save. Okay. New does not contain a definition or something. Is update store procedure to be created? Yes. Check. Go to definition. Contains one now. Thank you. And build. Two-way binding requires path or XPath. Name initializer component does not exist. This does not contain a definition for that. Okay. Go to definition. It contains it now. Build. Build succeeded. Seems the other two didn't matter. Alright. So let's give this a shot. Interface creation, fine. Table selection, fine. SQL Express, fine. Table complete. No such column. Variable name for stored procedures. Really? Variable name for stored procedures. That's here. Oh, I didn't commit it to the view. close, minimize, grab it again. More information. Okay, I didn't change it, so we're going to switch to a different table. Okay, so that's noun code, which is fine. Steps to complete, important fields, field information. Procedure, variable name, which essentially would be the caption with no spaces. Something like this. So, alright, so now let's check this linked. Table field, data. Yep, it's saved. Perfect. Let's do this again, shall we? So, we know that the variable name fills in, and we know that it supposedly has a SQL field name for C# code is nullable, field caption, SQL table ID field, but it's got to have some other field. We have if the filters on stuff. Data table, detail, table, default value, interface control type is read-only, field name for C# code, but where data type, yeah, data type for SQL, like, that's what I'm not seeing. And maybe it's because we just didn't have it. So data type for C#, data type for SQL Server. Okay, so we have field name add those then. Let's check the, close all those, stop that. Let's grab our 7 file, those. Okay, so we have interface control type, no. Interface creation, no. Stack, no. SQL type, data type. So this is SQL data type. So we're going to reference it with a foreign key, I think. So SQL data type. Yeah, SQL data type, my goodness, our C# data type. So we make SQL table field. It doesn't seem to have those fields. Okay. And there's so many different definitions for bar cars and unbar cars that I think we just store it. It's not going to be huge, but it's going to be text, so we would have to say exactly what the model talks about. The model for SQL table field says data type for C# and data type for SQL Server, which is simple enough, right? So field for C#, okay. But we're going to do data type for C# and data type for SQL Server. 1, 2. Data type. Data type. Okay. And then I don't need these because it's good. Data type for C#, data type for SQL Server. Let's put those up here. Windows, split it. Okay. Save, copy, that's it. Setup. Then we went to SQL table field actions. That's the using statement. Okay. This is the select one. And that's essentially these two. So we have data type for C#, data type for SQL Server. So, alright, so that's selecting them, adding them, slightly different. Well, yeah, because we'll want to save if we know what they are, right? So, 2. Data type for C#, data type for SQL Server, data type for C#, data type for SQL Server. Okay, so then up here, we'd say data type, yeah. Data type for SQL Server, data type for C#. Same thing in the next part of the embedded statement. Just have to give it the @ symbols, perfect, like that. SQL Server and C#, they're in the same order. Excellent. And then what is this one? SQL table ID. This is saying parent SQL table maybe. No. Yeah, I guess you're right. It might be up there, but I guess we can do if SQL table. So it's not equal like that. And we would also want this not to equal. So we would also say and. SQL table ID is great, 0. Like so. Okay, So basically, if it's not null and that's not 0, then, which is fine. So we have SQL Server. So for add, we have select, which for table interface control type, which is fine. And then I do believe we can do right in here. And type for SQL Server. C#, data type for C#. Okay, so we have SQL Server C#. This is when it goes to try and pull it into select. And then when we do it in get, I think we would have to do the same thing. So let's just grab those same fields. There, let's do split. Okay, so I did field name, just like so. And we have delete. Delete's not affected. Update would be affected. So we have field name description, field caption, link to. In this case, we have data type for SQL Server, just like that. And data type for C#, just like that. Okay. And then same thing down below. 1, 2. So we have C#, we have SQL Server. That part works out. And this one is different. This is a go-to. That's a list. That's a check. So we should be good there. So I guess the question comes when we get the fields for the table, and we should be able to get their ID at the same time, their SQL data types at the same time. So in this case, we have download SQL table fields for SQL table, which is here. So the column value is nullable. The data type, which is right here. So, and then we would have data type for SQL Server. Just say data type, like that. Okay, if it's nullable, then yes. If it's nullable, no. Alright, and then it adds field name. So if it exists, add. Right. Let's go what? Lego? Yeah, got Lego. Alright, cool. Let's see if we can jump over to with that. Stream. Okay. No. Shortcut doesn't work. Let's go to that location. Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you. Now, if we have that right, we should see the data types based on the table. Should updates at data types when pulled. So let's do SSMS. SQL Express, yep. We're going to go to our test database, we have a table, and we're basically going to script this to create a new table for t-test. While that is thinking, we'll go here. Table selection, server, yes. I think it's frozen with the other actions in the way. It's on, I connected to it. But that's weird. So, not what it's trying to do. Stop. Alright, so that stopped. Updates available. That's nice. Close that. Go here. Alright, so we have test. Broke something. Data type was C# code. No such column. Why? Probably because I never committed the changes here. Okay, yeah, let's do table. Data type for C# code, text, column, data type for SQL Server, text, column changes. Very good. Alright, then we have to go out to SQL table field and add them here as well. SQL table field dot data type for C#, SQL table field data type for Alright, so now they're committed to the view and everything else, so if we grab our template, we should get no errors. Okay, steps, all work fields. Alright, key, we don't have fields here. T-template, I'm not sure what's going on. Let's try again. Table, server, that one, fine. Table, employee, fine. Information, steps to complete. Field information, we have those. Okay, good. We would need 2 more field controls to see what their variable names are going to be, their data type names are going to be. And if we wanted to say like subsystem or something. This one, I don't think I've got over to subsystem. Space is allowed. Subsystem. So I gotta finish the coding on that one. Have the steps, all important fields, field information. Okay, so we're not seeing any field information there. But let's put the SQL table field data. Okay, let's refresh that. Alright, so I don't see any data types for that sort of thing. And this is 910 for it's fine. But at least for our purposes, let's make a new table. Let's go here, templates, design. Alright. So we have that. Go table, new table. Paste. Call it primary key. So we have a bunch of information for 100. Set that primary key to properties, set the identity. Say T. Testing table 2. we have testing table 2. So we can go into our routine, we can run it, interface creator, table selection, our server, table, testing table 2, table information, or field information. So we don't have the fields yet, but we're going to hit download. Alright, so we just got all the fields. And we should be able to refresh this. Data type for SQL Server. Okay, so we don't have the length of those fields, but we do have the data types. So var, tiny and var, stuff like that. So I guess the question is, when we're trying to get that length, using this statement here, we have precision scale. I guess it's character maximum length is my guess on what it's doing. So we're going to put that there, and we'll end up like make table 3, because we now need to know the length of the field. Table field, structure, default value, yeah, max character length. It's kind of helpful. Alright, so let's add a new field, max length, integer. Alright, we can max length, commit that, save. So that means max length has to be put in table definition for this when we do the setup. Okay, and max length is then here. Save. Alright, so the setup script is changed. The actions for selecting it, we put that. Max length then. Perfect. Save. Alright, so that's for selecting it. And then of course for adding it, we want to do something similar. Max length. Okay, so we have those, and then add with value. Max length. Okay, we do not have a property for that, so we're going to go to model, make it a nullable integer, I think. Default field value, data type, yep. Quite good. Nullable integer, max length. Public integer nullable, max length. Okay. Perfect. So now we have max length as a field. We have max length here, value, and then it should be max length. Save. Alright, so this is the add statement, and then we have our select statement, which similar concept essentially, saying if it's not null, so max length. If it's not null, then convert it to an integer. Okay, so that's our select. Our get, I think, has to do the same thing. So we'll just grab this part after is on the detail record page. Yep, just like that. Delete doesn't matter. Update would change. max length, okay. Max length and max length. All right, so the update statement should be good now. I'm gonna go to download SQL table fields. This one says character as max length. That's essentially do here. So max length equals SQL dr. Had the if. Yep. So essentially, let's say if max length is not equal null, max length equals convert SQL reader max length. Okay. Save. So that essentially gets us this value, and then it says, hey, if the fielding is Sqlite already in our tracker, if it doesn't, then add it. Okay. And that should take care of that part. So closing that, we can go back to SQL Server. All right, and we want testing table 2. Refresh. Testing table 2. We're going to create. Query editor window, which is going to be the same creation statement. Do table 3. Execute. Yeah, I'm aware, but that does say 3. Okay. Name is there 8 places. Go pick it. Alright, refresh. So now we have testing table 3. So we want to make sure that we get the lengths to the tracking database. Okay. Creation, selection, server, table 3. No such column max length. I forgot to put it in the view again. I think I did. SQL table field, query. Yes, I did. Max length. Save. Okay. Very good. Let's try 2 and try 3. Fields. Download said. Okay, so it stopped there because we wanted to see what the SQL command string was. And actually, I wanted to see this one as b2 string. Copy. And if we went over to SQL Server and pasted that in, ran it, that gives us our max length, because some of them are 50 and 200 and whatever. Okay, cool. And we'll hit continue. So at that point, if we flipped over to Sqlite, we took a look at the data, we now know that it's 200.
Jack it up.
Okay. So, max length is super helpful, because if it has one, then when it's writing, it's all comes back to it writing the thing. So we go to interface creation, store procedures, do the data type, and then we need it to give us the length of the type. So, wonder what happens with an varchar max field. Does it say max in that field? Because we didn't try that. I mean, that's a different problem entirely too. Okay, so we're going to try that situation out. Let's go to close all tabs. Field information is right after is nullable. We should have another field for max length. Max length, just like that. Save is readable. Yes, it is readable.
Jack it up.
Okay. So what happens with the max length field on the table when it's like nvarchar max? So we would say nvarchar max field nvarchar max. Save. Execute. -1. Interesting. So okay. So in that case we would have like a max length string of sorts that we could do at model level. SQL table field model, max length, yeah, public string nullable, max, so we would say length, stored procedures, get, is, basically what he says if max length is equivalent to -1, turn equals. First we would say is if max length is equal to null, turn null. Max length is -1. Let's return max length to string. So I think that length for stored procedures would make sense, but have to return this plus that. Okay. Save. So length for stored procs. We're gonna work stored procedures writing one. And essentially we have data type append length for stored procedures. Right, that should do it. Okay. So this is then for each. So we were having field length for stored procedures, and then I was putting the comma at the end. I really prefer commas at the beginning. So So what I'll do is I think I will we'll do a boolean show leading comma. Okay, make sure the comma equals false. And we're going to say if show leading comma append okay, and then to do like \tab or something. Okay, so that gets us comma and then a tab in. If it doesn't, then it's just gonna do so this that ends right. So we would put a leading thing followed by a tab if we're not showing the comma. Else if we are showing the comma, we would append a comma and then a tab. Okay. And this would be 2 tabs. This part wouldn't be here because that's taken care of above it. So then it's that part, yeah. Alright, so this becomes tab apostrophe tab comma. This becomes the variable name appending a space, appending the field data type, and then the length for procedures, and it breaks the line. Okay. And then at the end of that, then it goes tab in, and it closes out the quotation to create that. Alright, so this is how we do that part. So this is ending the region for setting the parameter. Set variable values for procedure, yes. Okay. Data set numbers. Right. Then I think we have the same. Oh, right, because show leading comma. So, so right before it goes in the loop, show leading comma is false. We can leave it because it was false, but this one then is true. Alright, and then after we leave, show leading comma becomes false again. Okay, so that will help. And this is the test construct procedure, blah blah blah, which is fine, and then it's end and go. And in reality, we're going to throw a print statement in there. So we have a tab followed by print. SQL append. Alright, and then it gets to the trickier part. So we have our tab, and we have EXEC, tab, SP underscore execute, SQL. Okay, that's append line, and So we basically say for each field in this, and it has a comma, yes. So from there, then it's essentially the variable name equals variable name, and it's just twice. So tab at field variable names for certain procedures, append equals Alright, let's try this again, or some more. Okay, so this part goes away, and that part's fine. So, I don't understand what it's not liking. Put a semicolon there, maybe, no. SB, okay, that one works. So essentially, you have a tab, followed by comma, followed by tab, followed by the @ sign. But we don't need the @ sign because that's part of the variable name for the stored procedure. So essentially, we're saying variable name for the stored procedure followed by equals variable name for the stored procedure, just like that. That's all it is. Okay, cool. So then we have an end statement and we have a go statement, and that makes sense. So before this executes, we'll have that. So why there's an semicolon there was. Alright. So we have that. We have setting the variables. We have actually doing the last statement. So let's build it and see what it gives us for these tables. Because I'm thinking we might actually be close to this stored procedure. And there's only like 5 more to go. Alright, so we got this. We go table section, SQL Server, got that. We'll get this information. T testing table 3. Testing table 3. It's fine. Steps all go down. Testing table 3 underscore add. Right. Work fields. Download all the fields. We got break off. Continue. Alright. Refresh. We're not hitting any fields. We have the fields here. Alright. So not seeing the procedure variable names, but alright, so we have those things to that button where it fields in equals false. Really? All right, so take this break off because it's making its way through. Okay, so it's trying to execute something, and I'm willing to bet it's this. Copy, go to SQL Server, move, paste. Interesting. That's completely different. Okay. So what did we do wrong? The first one, the first statement is going to be like create procedure, right? Yeah, append create procedure. Okay, so it might actually have that in it because it should. So we went to here, this they use, go create. So if we did just copy all, we just paste. Alright, so we do have that part. And we have use, create procedure. Okay, and then we have parameter append equals something else. That just doesn't work. Alright, well we were getting close. We got our probably could use an extra tab break in here to line it down a little bit, but that got us a good portion. So we got SQL append and we got parameter definition append. That's good. Then we try to set up for values for parameter definition append. This is where it went a little weird because it didn't have some of the values in it. So we can't use anything that doesn't have a field name for those things. Right. So essentially, variable store procedure, right, which is that one. So we would say if dot variable name for procedure is equal to null. How do you go to next for each loop? Nope, not C, C#. Continue. Alright, so just say continue. So if this equals null, continue. And then data type for SQL Server also would do that too. So if data type for SQL Server is null, continue. Alright, so that's fine. So since we don't have them, yeah, that's fine. So we essentially don't have, but it has to be on the add procedure. So let's go here, that one, table 3, field information, procedure, variable name, at date field. Alright, so can we give it a button to populate the variable names or function or something like that to just like put them all in? I think we could. So let's do that. So grab interface creation model. Alright, fields filled in. Create model file from template. No. performed, cancel pop-up. All right, so this is essentially on the new, right? Add SQL view, add SQL table, add SQL schema. Yeah, lots of stuff. Okay. So public boolean fill in SQL table fields, variable names for SQL server. Okay. And we want that. So we'll go to templates, grab our template code block, something that returns a boolean. Okay, close that, paste. All right, now we have that. So inside of a try block, we can say for each SQL table field model field in new record list SQL table fields. If field dot variable name struct procedures is equal to null, like string, then we basically would say field variable name struct procedures equals field dot field name SQL table field name. Is it yeah, so SQL table like corrected field name essentially. So if we go to definition, we want to remove any spaces for variable names. So we could call it corrected SQL table field name. And it would have read only. Place. Replace this with nothing. So then we'll call it a string new field name. New field name equals SQL table field name dot replace. Return new field name. Okay, so it's corrected SQL table field name. That corrected SQL table field name. So that's this part. And because it's changing it, we would then SQL update field. Okay, save. So fill in SQL table fields variable names for SQL Server. Copy. Save. We could then have our instructions, right? We have a stack panel. Inside of a border, we have a stack panel. Well, a stack panel can include a stack panel. So we will just button and say the button style is going to be continue, like back? Yeah, no. Button. Generation, right? Say content equals. Perfect. There's names. Good. Name. Button. Very good. So we have that. Which mission? Yeah. Don't assume that go. Now that assumes that very quick is the only if it's not, only if it's blank screen, then do that. There. Okay, cool. Excellent. Let's try it again. Like begins. So we have tables, tables, table information. Yep, steps to complete everything. Important fields, field information. Hit correct. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. All right. So besides the fact that it did that with the update, but we can do show prompt false. False. And it will take care of that false. What's that? Now that means if I go over to Sqlite, refresh my data, I now see that I have variable names and procedures. Okay. Because I have variable names for script procedures, I should be able to run that a little bit better. But for data type, for SQL Server isn't present. Interesting. Okay. So we're saving and what if we also say update? If it's not, then we get the data types or things like that. I think that could make sense. So when we went to, let's close all, close this, go to table field actions. All right, so down here, where is it? We have it down. Basically says check to see if it exists. And it doesn't add it. However, I think if it does exist, we have name, equal name, and server. And so this one updates a lot of stuff, but yeah, we could do a slight variance of this. And this one then would be called updates table field. SQL definitions. Yeah, field definitions. Okay, so we're going to do within field. We're not doing record modified by username. We're not even changing the field name, I don't think. Or the field description. Table ID. Field caption. Again, data type. table data type for SQL Server. Max length is nullable. Right, yeah, we would do an update basics essentially, because that's all the information we would have on this field. So is nullable max length, and then we have to get numeric precision and numeric scale. So we need those fields inside of my table as well. So SQL table field, I have two fields, numeric precision, which is an integer, numeric scale, which is an integer. Okay, numeric precision, numeric scale, save that for L1, and grab those guys. We have to import table definition instead of SQLite. Save that. We have to add it to the view definition. So now that we have them in the table and the view, we have to add them to the model. Precision. Precision. Okay. So that means down here, when we're running through this, we SQL table field ID, field ID is fine, but it's gone. Field name is gone. Description. Caption is null. that means down here, after we say, hey, check to see if the field exists, if it doesn't exist, then it adds the field that's brand new. Else, if it does exist, it runs the update field definitions for SQL table field, like so. Because when it does check for the condition, this one, it should be able to obtain the ID, table ID, field name ID, counts the matches, but doesn't get the ID number. Okay. So what if instead of a count, get, we have get equal table field. That's based on ID things. Get the ID number. Okay. So I think we just have to modify the check one. Check SQL table field exists in Sqlite. And essentially we know the record exists at this point. So we opened it, closed it. So if we opened it, we closed it, we did all that fun stuff. What if we do it again based on if it exists, then get it. If we take this, we can simply say if count matches greater than 0, then we have the string builder, which would be select top one table field ID from v SQL table field where table ID and field name match. Use of unassigned local variable. That's right here. Okay, so by default, count matches is 0. And in this case, it would say if count matches is greater than 0, then we do this part where we can then basically perform the whole thing again. We open the connection, we use the new string, we input the same variables, and in this case, we would say SQL table field to check dot SQL table field ID equals convert to integer 32 SQL table field ID, which is this one. Put that there. Save. And then again, that closes the connection. And that only works if the matches are greater than 0, because if they're not, then it adds it. And the one place that it adds it is add SQL table field. And this one I do believe does the same thing where it's select SQL table field from where whatever. So closes. Yeah, because it executes it first and then it does the read afterwards. Yep, no, that makes sense. Okay, let's try it again. selection, table, SQL table 3. Download fields. Okay, object reference not set to an instance of an object. Table name, table prefix. Find matching view from table name. Okay, stop that. So, yeah, so essentially if check set. Yep. So if table name prefix is null, so instead we would say if it's not null, do this. Prefix equals the prefix. View without prefix is that. Yeah, save. Continue. All right, we lost music. Have procedure for so if I went to import field and I hit down, cannot set connection or data reading to an adjective. Let's try pause. Cannot set connection or data reader is active. So you must have been reader when you execute reader. So yeah. So pause it, debug, step out. Alright, so no changes detected. Step out. Okay. If show prompt is true, so debug, step out. So this is update field. And let's say false. We don't need to continue. Then terminate. Pause. Alright, so in this case, we're saying already up. But at this point in time, I think it's not already up. Just close it. Here, already up. So what if we just did a second one? Already up 2. And instead of having to try and deal with one closing, just simply go here. Already up 2 is going to execute while already up 2 is ready. Already up 2. Let's just refresh that. This time when it gets here. set connection. Really? So command must be part of the problem too. Where is it having the issue? Open. There it is. Okay, so but what if I did do rdr.close? Connection was terminated. Right. Connection should have been reopened. So command. I think we might be better off with a separate procedure, keeping them streamlined. So let's stop that. And we're going to make connection command reader. Check. Field ID greater than group. That's fine. This one, minimize new SQL transaction string, select from these fields, name, open, add ID, add name, execute reader. I think that's where this is. And and we don't need to return anything, I don't think. Well, okay, I guess we can. We can say Boolean record ID found. Okay, and then we can say if SQL table field to check dot ID is greater than 0 equals true. Okay, so return record ID found. Save. So get SQL table field, yeah, which is that one. Check, see if field exists. So in here, we would say if greater than 0, we simply say get. We pass the SQL table field to check in like so. And in this case, we'll comment it there. Try again. Yep, that one. Table, server, table, 3, information, steps, fields, all. Connection was closed. Debug, step out. All right, where are we? Debug, step out. Okay, so RDR close, right? It can't close the reader because the connection's already closed, so that's irrelevant. All right, so in this case, matches is 1. Go, 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 go. All right, cool. That seems to be working. Close that, take that out, hit continue. All right, that means field information, max length. All right, yeah. Check to see if field exists in SQLite. Yeah. If this is false, then add, else update field definitions for this. Go to definition. So we should have max length, numeric scale, and precision. And you don't have to worry about it being dirty or worry about the prompt. This isn't something that we're going to deal with there. Yep, save. Refresh. So new record SQL table is null. So essentially, we can't find the matching view from a table name if the table doesn't exist. And that's fine, because then we could say as if SQL table name equals null, return. Nope, not runtime handle. I just said return. Thank you. Click to open the exception helper. What happens? Continue. Close, refresh. Wrong button. Let's try again. Table, this one. Okay. Table name, that one. Table information. Steps to complete, important fields, field information. So we have max length. If we go to important fields, we hit that one, ends up in here. Okay, and we go back to our field information. We still don't see max length on SQL table 3 on like any of it. Do we have anything for max length? Yeah, got 50s, 200s, and 1s. And yet we're not seeing it here. Why not? My guess is max length and the other ones either aren't in the select or aren't being assigned while in the select. So we would go to list page, SQL table fields, list page fields. So this is list SQL table fields from a SQL table, which is here, which has the select string, but I don't believe it. So it has nullable, but doesn't have the other ones. So I think that's where we have to unify them. So when we're using the select statement, for instance, it's a select table field. This has data type. This one, which is list, slightly different. So we have field name, data type. Yeah. All right. So we'll grab these guys like that. Field description, field caption is nullable. Field name for C# code, read only, data max length. Okay. And then max length would go after is detail on record page, like that. Let's try that again. I have field information. So we have max length now, which is very good. We do need to show the data type for SQL, so the SQL data type field, which should probably be present in that. All right. Oh, I need caffeine. All right, let's close all that. Let's go to our interface creation view. It's here. We have field information. This one right after max length. We can then do binding for data type for SQL Server. Is it broken again? Okay, so we have SQL data type, we have max length, we don't have C# data type, so we'll have to correct those. I'll be back. So now that we have the field names and we have the variable names, let's rerun it. Okay. Return required fields filled in. Yep, continue. Alright, so this is attempting to run a non-query, and it's attempting to run this string. So if I grab everything from that string, and I go over to SQL Server Management Studio, select everything, delete it. Okay, we got closer. Alright, so essentially, typo. But all of this is looking really good. Because we got small bit type decimals, integers, background names, all the field values are here. Okay. So it's just that piece. So it's right after append. After append, there is an extra equals. Set, yep, set equals. So for me to correct it, yeah, and then this one didn't have a quotation here. Its quotation was up here, but we don't need it to be up here. It's going to need it there. So by breaking that out, that means this line goes away. So turn into that. And that should actually work. So this says create procedure testing table 3, add, execute, must declare variable, scalar variable, date, field. Okay, so date field is here. Right, well that's the first one. So date field is actually going to have to be bound variable to the procedure. So I think that's going to be up here. So essentially it's going to do like all of the values up here, followed by the ID. So declare variables, just go create procedure, yep, here. So this is going to be a new region. By the way, what I call this procedure parameters. Region. Procedure parameters. Okay. So then procedure parameters basically does the same thing for each one here. Comma. Paste. So for each field in fields, if variable name for stored procedures is null, data type for SQL Server is null. Right, so that's error handling essentially. Right, and then we're saying if show leading comma. If do not show leading comma, then do 2 tabs. If show leading comma, do tab, then comma, then tab. Okay. And then we would say variable name for stored procedures, followed by data type for SQL Server, followed by default field value. Actually, it's not quite that. We would have to do append, then equals, then default field value, and then append line. Yeah. So data type for field value, followed by length, field length for stored procedures. Oh, right, because this needs to be an SB now. Yep. And this needs to have an ending now. Okay, so that seems to work. Save. Refresh. So in RAM, go to definition, or aired out, because I thought I had a breakdown here. So where did it fall into? Variable name, struct procedures, continue. Huh. Alright. So the one reference this has here. So ready. Oh, I know what I didn't do. When I said steps to complete, I didn't have it filled in for yes, which is why it didn't go. Alright, so we have this. So now we're going to continue. Now we're here. Procedure. Excellent. Copy. Paste. Alright, there's still a typo. Alright, why do I still have a typo? Add in small date time, but if there is no default, it would be null. Which means I have to have a default insert for struct procedures as part of model. So, model. So, where is it? Default field value. Yeah. Public string default for, well, that's default for field value, and we don't have a default, so it would yield none. Okay. It would yield the word, it has to yield the word null. Public string default for stored procedures. Is if is null equals 1. If is nullable. Is nullable is an integer. Yes, so if is nullable. And field information. We have all those. We have all the values. We can go here. We're going to say go. All right. Now if I go to my SB2 string, copy, let's bring it over to here. All right, I still have a typo. Yeah, I still have a typo. A couple, actually. So, date field is nullable, but it's not saying null. And it should. Let's check Sqlite Studio. Check SQL Server. Okay, testing table 3, columns, date field. Date field is nullable. Yeah. So inside of the SQLite stuff, does it know it's nullable? Is nullable? Yes. 1. Date field. Yes, it is nullable. Okay. So I guess the dumb question comes, why didn't it put that part in there? Let's do here. Length for stored procedures. Length for stored procedures. Data type default for stored procedures. Let's just break that line right there. And my guess definition. So this value probably needs to be updated when we do this value. Not that it's tied to the interface, but we're going to try that. And then basically saying that if is nullable is equal to 1 and default field value equals to null, return the null. Okay, so we're going to put these two here. And we're going to try this again. Selection, this one is going to table 3. Table information. Yeah. All important fields, field information. So important fields, let's make sure we re-upload those. Field information. We don't have anything yet, which is fine. So I guess the question is nullable. So all of these are nullable. That one says no, which is fine. So creation step, make magic. Let's try that. So it's going to try and do it. Okay. Length is null. Default is blank. Continue. Default field value. So is nullable is 1, and default field value is not null. It's a blank string. Okay, so that helps explain it. So essentially, we can do if this or this. I'd set the next statement. Now it returns value number. Okay. Yep, that seems to be better. Alright, we can take those up here. Alright, so we actually have most of them, but is deleted. Is deleted is not part of the add procedure. I mean, it's got a default. It would be a default of 0. And that's why it's not doing it. But so we also need to only do this for fields that are going to be in the add form, which is the next. Okay, so let's stop that. Let's yeah. So let's check SQL table field model. Detail is filtered in the record page. This one. Right, so is a new record page. We do procedures. So you could do that as well. Let's do so for each field interface. This one, yeah. Dot where. And dot is okay, so you can do that check during that essentially. Yeah. Is that the record page? That's the trick. Is it record page? Test 3 information. Test complete. Record page. I don't even see the fields here. There's probably a problem with the binding. Okay. Record page, which is here. Record element. So table fields. Okay, so find new record. New record. Cap sensitive. New record. our server, we got our table. We go to test table 3, table information. So we have our information. We go to all of those. We got important fields. We have our important fields. Excellent. So we would need to make sure that the primary key was selected, the record added timestamp was correctly selected, and by user, whatever, field information. So we have all of our fields. Then we can go to our new record page and we'll be able to identify which fields are going to be present. So date, decimal, integer, 2, 3, and text. Those are there. So at that point in time, then we'd have our list, our detail, our start procedure, help text version, subject, verify. Hit the button. Alright, we hit go. And now we can go to our string, go back to our SQL server, paste. This should be much shorter. It is much shorter. That actually makes sense. So we have date, decimal, integer, text. However, we need the primary key to come back out. Alright, this one, durability. It's not important, but yeah, makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So then we need the primary key field followed by 2 additional fields. During the variable declarations on the inbound. So that's this part here, procedure parameters. Okay. It's not the as, it's gonna be table. Sorry, interface creation record. SQL table dot primary key field dot variable name for start procedures. Yep. So we would do a comma, a tab, variable name. Yeah. And then the data type. Data type for SQL Server. Okay. So then we have that, we have the data type, and then we have the word out. Like that. Okay. And then we can append the line. So that's the primary key. message. Debug out. So get the it's one to the variable name, the data type. Will have to be identified. Yep. Okay. We have those things. So yeah, okay, so we need the logic for making sure that adding it by somebody was already present. Should have those events as well. So let's see if we can get that working here. Here. We have the field. Can actually do like record modified timestamp, record modified by user, soft delete used. So we have deleted timestamp, and deleted by user. Okay, those are saved. New record page, we have date, decimal, integer, and text, right? And then list records, we can deal with that later. We would hit do that. Continue. Alright. Copy. Go to SQL Server. All. Paste. Interesting. So I have primary key ID. So the beginning part of that is valid. After it, it's not. Alright. So before set variable values, we want another line break. Here. Yep. Right, so we have that. That should now look like this. Now after we hit append, most likely because show leading comma was set to true here, we needed to reset it to false there. And that means this changes to that. Okay, and we have all that. Then we have set, and then we do need a section for perform. So append, and then we have this. And right when we're doing print, we would call it perform actions. So we have print, and then we have execute. Which is good. And then print and execute, we have the SQL that it's supposed to do. Now all of this could come in a whole nother line, I think. So I want to say after execute would have to be another line, another tab there, and another tab here. Okay, and then we'll probably want another line before end. Save. Okay. So the interesting part will be that the SQL append statement was never made. The parameter for the append statement was made, but SQL append was not. So SQL append has to do something similar. Okay, so this is this part. Which we have this part here. Then we have to do set SQL append, which I think is cap sensitive. Which is fine. So here I declare variables and then SQL append. For Carmack SQL append. Then it's going to be basically insert into. Yeah, and it's got all of the parameters and everything. So and then we can basically do the same thing over again for SQL append, except we're going to do it twice. So we're going to say SQL append equals this variable name for starters. We're going to take these out because we looped these enough. Well, yeah, we can do a check on that earlier. Alright, so we have show leading comma. If there's no leading comma for this part, it would then be insert into as the first part. Insert into, then we have the table name, which I think we simplified. So now we have SQL table name. Name, yeah. And, but in this case, it's not quote, it's an open parentheses, right? And then it's actually the raw column names fields. They are not the variables. So we have that, and then we have the tab. SQL table field name. But to make sure that they are recognized correctly, we're going to put brackets around them. What if we could just do that as the logic somewhere instead of having to remember to do this? So we can go to definition SQL table field name, and we can then do one SQL table field name with brackets. Return brackets, and then I would do a new line right away. And then after all that, tab and a closing parentheses, followed by a new line. And the word values, followed by a new line. Procedures. Yeah. And that's where those fields come in handy, because then it's going to be more flexible. So after we've done that, so we have that part, tabs, and then we would need one record added by user field dot with brackets. So right. See how that comes together, huh? Table. Fields. Yep, we got our important fields identified. Information. Record page. We got all those remembered. God, the fact that it remembers all of this is fantastic. Okay, so we get to here. Tell it to go. Get our string. Go back to here. Paste it. Where we at? So we take that, and we have add successful and return message with the primary key. That's awesome. Then we have variable parameter append, which is here. And I think the only challenge is it didn't close. So after we've done parameter definition append, we do all this, check on that, we check on this, put parameter definition, no, this is SQL append, parameter definition, this part, yeah. Tab, and it's this followed by an append line. And I'll give it a little there. Okay. Then we have SQL append. Unclosed quotation mark. Right, so yeah, for actions, we also have to close quotation mark. Which is here. Good. That's that part. And then we go into perform actions. And we have that. Okay. But I'm pretty confident that unless we're inserting it, we don't need it. So that's, I guess, text field is here, primary key is here for the definitions. We would end up needing the primary key, but we wouldn't need it the other spot. So on the inbound, we had a dot where is on record page, this part here. And I think we can just find the other stuff. Yep. Yep. Okay, so we have that, and then for each SQL field, yep. Like so. Again, same one down here. So that, I think, will work. The only challenge, so we have the fields inbound, yeah, we have the parameter definition. Now, we're going to do that. Then, we need to do another statement at the same time. And this is where we will select the primary key from the table based on a scope identity to get it back out again. And that's where the primary key value is going to come in handy. So parameter definition to append has to be an integer count. So after parameter definition append, it goes to the thing, okay, which is here, right? And then tab it. Put in So that would be all of this. Okay. And then the statement after it closes, which is a SQL append line here, we have our values, we do that. We then have to do a colon, semicolon, and then this is where we're going to do another statement. This is where we become select, and that got to be the primary key field variable. I think we could probably make that easier somewhere. So that's scope identity, and essentially, if it comes back out and it's greater than 0, then it was successful. Look at my other example on how we did that. that was declared up top. So, okay. Yeah, whoever declared that as an output. So, lost my music. Let's try this again. Uh, All right. So if we have the primary key string, which we can shorten essentially. So we can do string primary key field name. Hmm. Let's just right. So now that we have the primary key field name here, essentially I want to find everywhere where this is used. The primary key field name, that makes it a little bit easier to work with. So we could also do yeah, just fine. So we'll hit stop. So we have the statement, so it says select where scope identity. And when we define the parameter, we had the out of the primary key field variable. So after we've run it, we would need logic to know if it was that, then it's something else. So that's perform, print, execute. Yeah. And then this essentially says if, so then we would want the primary key variable name. Set up the primary key variable, string primary key variable. Yeah. So primary key field is not null. SQL table is not null here. Primary key field converting a null literal or possible null value. Variable name. Stored procedure. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So if we would want the variable name, so we do append primary key variable greater than 0. Okay. Okay. So essentially we say if greater than 0, then we would do begin It's fun. All right, so we're basically saying if it's greater than 0, then a couple of things have happened. That it has been added successfully. So I would say add successful equals 1, right? And there's no return message. But else, right? So then return message ends up being something like record not added successfully. Okay, so that's that. And this is then going to be an extra tab, an extra tab. So we will put those in here. Let's see how this turns out, because we have to understand what we're changing. So we're getting close. So we have that part, we have this part. This part works, so parameter definition. That part's good. Primary key ID is out, insert into values. Right, so we need to enter in tabs on the new select statement. But record added. Oh, this part needs to happen. Needs to be moved up here. After scope identity, we can put a thing there like this. Okay, and then text field. fun. Okay, so add successful. It needs a set statement. Return message needs a set statement. Okay, so we have set statements now. Okay. All right, so we got those, we got this, we can hit that button. We get it down here. Okay, we go to okay. Oh, this essentially, I mean, short of needing a couple more things, it's going to print the append statement, it's going to execute the statement. I think when it's executing the statement, I think it's failing to get the primary key field. Yep. I think it is. Because then we also need the word output on it. eat something.